Hanap namin ng pagkain, yung mga anak namin na mag-aaral, mahirapan kami sa
Like many residents in Datupiang, Maguindanao, Pinang and her family were among thousands of Bakwits, a local term for internally displaced persons who fled their villages at the height of the August 2008 offensives. Life was hard in the evacuation camp, she recalled. Her husband, she said, had to stay behind in their village to look after their house and farm. Since then, she has borne the responsibility of finding the means for her family to survive.
Mahirap maghanap ng mga ibuka,
Pambuka na ito, bumili na mga tao para sa buka.
Kaya kahit pinagalitan kami sa pagtitinda namin, magtinda pa rin kami para makahanap ng
Pinang hopes that she can sell more vegetables today. It is mid-afternoon here in Datupiang, and during the season of Ramadan, people are starting to prepare food for the iftar or the breaking of the fast at sundown. Even then, selling is difficult, she said. But this is the only way for her to earn money to meet her family's needs. The vegetables come from her own garden in her home in Barangay Magaslong. Like Pinang, Marawia is a Bakwit. She also makes ends meet by selling vegetables. Her husband, like many others, chose not to join them in the evacuation center so he could look after their farm, which is their main source of livelihood.
Mga kamo, nagurun sa gagado pilak, gurun sa 5, isa kapumpungan, gurun sa 25, bebero kaya alay. Nagbaka mo na, usong gaganam po, 5 po.
More than half of the number of Bakwits in central Mindanao were women, according to international humanitarian agencies monitoring the displacements. But the main reason is that documentation was done during the day, when most of the men were away from the evacuation centers. Existing data on the Bakwits, however, is not sex disaggregated.
Pag during displacement, ang sitwasyon, kasi ang nangyayari, ang babae yung umaako sa responsibilidad ng both ng father at saka ng mother. Kasi may experience kasi na ang karamihan talaga sa kalalakihan namin, lalo na pag naka-stay na sa evacuation center, hindi sila namamalagi doon. Kasi may karanasan noon na pag nasa evacuation center sila, nagkakaroon ng mga parang arrest. Kaya para ma-avoid yung ganung incident, hindi na rin sila nag-stay longer sa evacuation center. Ngayon, syempre, sinong naiiwanan sa pag-take care ng pamilya? Di si nanay. Isang opportunity doon, yun, natututo ang aming women na dati kung sa isang regular or ordinary community lang na walang conflict, hindi sila gaanong nare-recognize. But ito, isa sa mga opportunities na recognize sila, then may opportunity sa kanila to participate.
Sa tingin natin na yun yung mas i-strengthen kasi sa panahon ng giyera, yung sa paglikas pa lang, so nawawalan minsan nawawalan din ng trabaho yung mga kalalakihan. So ang nagti-take charge is yung babae. As sa aming organization, may mga na-document kami na cases of violence, rape. Although na-document namin siya, hindi rin ganun kadali na i-push into a legal aspect na marami ring human rights violations na unreported pa rin. So kasi kung sa women at saka sa kababaihan naman na sektor, yung sinasabing culture of silence.
During the war between the government and the Moro National Liberation Front in the 1970s, women played significant roles in the struggle.
Yeah, as combatants, and we have also asserted to have a particular committee in the MNLF Center Committee, and we have the Bangsamoro Women's Committee. Now, during the negotiation, unlike with other organizations, we have really an active participation of women. Like, for example, we were included in some of the committees in support to the negotiation, in the crafting of the provisions of the peace agreement. But although there is no specific provisions in the peace agreement, we asserted to be involved in decision making and to participate in all levels of governance.
Their assertions resulted to the appointment of 6 women in the Southern Philippine Council for Peace and Development, 3 women in cabinet positions, and 1 woman in the Regional Legislative Assembly. They also pushed for the creation of the Regional Commission on Bangsa Moro Women. They also lobbied for 10% of development funds meant for the different MNLF state commands to be allocated for women, funds which went to capability buildings and livelihood. Reflecting on their role in the GRP-MNLF peace process, Bainon Caron shares this lesson.
Our priority is on the participation of women in all levels of governance first, and then there should be economic provision also for the women, especially in the livelihood programs for our disadvantaged women and youth.
Gender may not be central to the conflict, but it is certainly central to its resolution. Usually, conflict is really the deprivation of fundamental human needs, and the people try to address this deprivation through ethnic or religious lines. And in this case, it is not possible if women who had a great role, not in the conflict itself, but ensuring that families and communities survive the conflict. They had such a great role in that. So how can they not be in positions of decision making and in leadership positions during the time of reconstruction and recovery? Usually in times of conflict, women take over the role that usually men play, which is that of the main breadwinner. And so she plays this all throughout the conflict period, not because they're fundamentally different, but because they are made to play different roles in society. And because of those roles, they come from a different perspective, and they play their roles differently. And I think in post-war reconstruction and recovery, this is very important to think about. As much as we know that women are victims of war and conflict, we must also really promote and vigorously espouse the idea that no real fundamental change is going to happen if women do not play a leadership role in any post-reconstruction and recovery.
Malaki po ang pangamba namin kung hindi matuloy ang usaping ito. Kasi okay lang sa amin, matatanda na kami. Paano na ang kinabukasan ng mga anak namin?
This bridge, according to Celia, stands as a grim witness to the horrors of the all-out war between the Philippine government and the MILF in 2000. This was where soldiers and rebels exchanged intense gunfire. The soldiers on the left side of the bridge and the rebels on the right.
Hindi kami sigurado sa seguridad namin at saka hindi namin na iniisip yung seguridad namin. Yung mga kababainahan na kung ano ang mangyari sa amin, ipinapasa Diyos na lang namin yung seguridad namin.
Kami kalingan kami mga sibilyan na aron kuan kabasarana bitiasa may niay mga sibilyan na di narapakira na mga sundalo. Uminga sa pamapulingke na aron pagdiakap sa kami. Tapi kailangan aron tumiyakap sa kami may kuan may mga may panil nginani siya sa kuan babuntayanan so pamamurupi sundalo kanu area narum mapajabuta sa may dino kumane nani ka civilian inan.
Marawia hopes that she'll be able to return home to her village. They are afraid to go home because she has no assurance that it is safe for them to return. It has been 3 years since she and her children fled for safety in the town center of Datupiang. Marawia will have to wait some more before she can return. Much of it depends on the outcome of the peace negotiations between the Philippine government and the MILF.